And we're back with another episode at CJ Reacts. And in today's conversation, we will be discovering the conversation about Nolan Wells, what really happened to him. Let's jump into the video.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for watching. Today we got another Nolan Wells update. You know, they friends did an intro. His friends.
I wouldn't really call them his friends, especially not what's about to come out.
Sympathy farm and turn this into make everybody think that they're the victims because they were the last ones with the black kid that died, and everybody thinks they did it, so they're the victims, even though they're still alive, walking around, well, young, kicking it, drinking. They still alive.
Just looking at these boys, I'm not even gonna lie. They definitely look guilty. It's written all across their faces.
The response to Nolan not being on the boat. But before we get there, let's rewind a little bit to the beginning so we can get their idea of their entire timeline. And I'm going to be using the help of my girl, J. Megan. Now, this is the complete timeline of what they're saying took place.
Okay, this is my full Nolan Wells timeline with my supporting evidence. There were 3 votes in their group that day: Palm Beach, the Triton, and the Tideline. By the way, if you like my work, you can support me in my bio, because by the end of this video, I'll be dropping never before seen evidence. And
oh, wow.
Timeline. Warren said they got there at 10:30, even though the GPS said that they dropped their waypoint at 11:19. He said the Tidecraft, the Palm Beach, and the Triton.
So the timing is already inconsistent.
At 3 o'clock, he gets into a fight with some stranger who didn't like the way that he was talking to his girlfriend, because, I mean, look at the way he was talking in this interview, I don't blame them. And they had a fist fight. His uncle was like, "We're getting the hell out of here."
I remember at one point.
Why was his uncle on a boat on an island full of kids on 4th of July? That's my question.
He probably was the only one that could drive the boat.
I look over and I see my uncle. And my uncle yelling at me to get in the boat. I stop fighting. As soon as me, I got my uncle. I got in the boat.
Then Warren says that his
Oh,
brother
wow.
was also involved in the same fight.
He'll come up to me and say, "Hey, your brother just got in a fight." And
To be honest, this case is really just wicked. And I hope that the family could get some peace from finding out who killed their son, because nobody deserves to not know what happened to the family member, especially when he was missing for a couple days.
The minute they asked, was Nolan involved in that altercation, he lost his train of thought. But FBI, open up!
Nolan involved?
Okay, now let's pause right here. Tristan,
This is just diabolical, y'all.
simultaneously,
I already knew that his so-called friends weren't his friends when the mom I want to say the mom and the dad pulled up to the house to get Nolan's phone, and they wanted to act like they didn't know where the phone was, didn't know where his car keys was, and then so happened to get a phone call, and the girl was like, "Oh yeah, the keys are just right there on the Xbox," and then all of a sudden he just found his keys. It's kind of suspicious. What do you think?
Now you talking about something. Now it's like,
Right.
was Nolan involved too?
Just imagine if this was one of your family members. Ooh wee. Ooh wee.
So who's to say that Nolan didn't get involved somehow, some way? I don't think it would be crazy to say that Nolan got involved in some. If 2 of my friends was fighting, so I don't even know what's going on. I see my friends.
Definitely. So I agree with Mac Muller on that one.
I might get knocked the fuck out, but I'm not. We gonna get knocked out together. You feel?
you would then have to say, hold on, bruh. So Warren, Tristan, 2 of Nolan's quote-unquote best friends were involved.
These boys were not his friends.
Nolan was with the group.
It was all for image.
But you didn't see Nolan nowhere in sight?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. That don't seem. If my 2 best friends were involved in fights, the first
I'm jumping in.
to see me is running towards the altercation.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Especially if we're in the same group, bro, we're all nearby each other.
Right, y'all all came together. What do you mean?
Your 2 best friends are involved in altercations. You not coming to check in on a best friend?
I'm coming.
Diabolical.
My theory, in my personal opinion, I think Nolan may have been in more proximity to that quote-unquote altercation or that quote-unquote fight than they're leading on. But again, we can't prove that, so let's just continue with their timeline.
It's just, everything just doesn't make sense, because, like, all the evidence and all the theories, and I want to say the conspiracies is just kind of all over the place with this case. But what I do hope for is that they find out the truth, definitely. Because the police were just trying to rule it out as a suicide so fast. And then when the real autopsy came out, it was like, come on, man. Really? Y'all tried it, but we got to do better. Definitely. Why is my
I'd also like you guys to see that they are in much.
My bad, y'all. I had to fix my mic real quick. It was doing too much static.
Whose parents have had several boats in their life, boats don't just start sinking because people are.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a nigga from Chicago. I ain't gonna have no boat. Okay. I don't know shit about boats. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know about boats either, but I want to hear what this white woman does have to say about the boat. What is her theory or conspiracy about this boat?
What's the little shit? I forgot what it's called. The ferry and Navy Pier. And then when we was in Orlando, I think we was in. Have you ever needed your paycheck to just
run as well? Because there is an underage kid who just got into a physical fist fight on the island. All of them are drinking and driving boats, so they're trying to hightail it out of there.
Nolan is 19 years old. Warren, I believe, is 19 or 20 years old. Mm-hmm. The oldest person there in that friend group was Bart, who was 21.
Right.
But
oh, wow.
Warren claims his younger brother was much younger than them. Much younger, what, 3 or 4 years?
16 or something like that.
So why were y'all hanging out with him and drinking alcohol with him? No good, but it is what kids do. So
a freshman or sophomore in high school was also drinking.
Probably.
Any other case, there will be somebody in cuffs and in jail right now. Which already
definitely, because if the roles were reversed and one of them white kids ended up dead, Nolan would have definitely been arrested for it, even if he had nothing to do with it. You have to hold him in detain for sure until they can figure out what happened.
Because any other case, right, the person that's guilty.
And that's what's wrong with society nowadays.
So freshmen and sophomores in high school possibly, and freshmen in college, they will be in jail, especially when you take into consideration that the liquor, according to them, Nolan was sloppy drunk. Now, Nolan's mom says she don't believe it, but they said he was sloppy drunk. So according to them, Nolan was sloppy drunk, and that may have contributed to him drowning. Right. Any other case, the person who provided, right, liquor would at the very least be charged with like
manslaughter or something.
Like, at the very least.
Exactly.
At the most probably manslaughter. Right?
But what doesn't make no sense is they said he was sloppy drunk, but then he seen one of his football coaches and had a full-blown conversation with him. And the football coach couldn't tell that he was under the influence, so it's just like, what really happened?
According to them, was not involved in the altercation whatsoever. He was nowhere around. But somehow, 3 p.m. when they said, after the fight, they hauled butt back to the boat to get him out of there.
Right.
That's when they last saw Nolan and said at 3 p.m. So Nolan was close enough to where in a rush to get back.
And y'all didn't bring your friend with him and y'all came with him? That's definitely a little suspect if you ask me.
Altercations. Okay. That's strange. Okay. So
definitely strange.
When they quote unquote last saw Nolan, which is also contradictory to them saying we was calling for Nolan to get back on the boat at 4:30. But let's continue with.
Oh wow, man, kids are really not intelligent.
Detail that he accidentally explained what really happened, but not in the way that he was saying it.
I think every time we were out there for a couple hours, the boat started filling up with water. So I popped the starboard side hatch of the battery. The battery was completely underwater, and so the motor would turn down. I mean, my buddy would go turn it down from the console, and it turned down, and then it come right back up.
Now, trimming the motor means they move the propeller closer to the transom, and it lowers the bow, which means they can drive through choppy water without risking that choppy water to come into the boat.
Okay, educate us.
And taking off at a high
Shout out to the Karens.
overheat very quickly and cause it to short. But if waves are high, it won't cut through the wake, and it will cause the boat to porpoise and possibly have rough, choppy waters hit on your boat.
Right.
So I went out there. It was pretty calm. I think it was only like 3 or 4 knots. I mean, the waters were clear. It was a great day, no water, sunshine, not cloudy at all. I mean, great day out there for July. And so we followed each other out, and I was calm. It was calm. On the way back, it was a little rough, but it was not anything that's going to handle. Like, it was like you're going to be really good.
Now, as you can see, it is tilted up here in the back, and look how low the front is. He admitted that they hit choppy water at one point, so not that hard of a stretch to think that the water started coming over the boat, and that's when they were in trouble. That's when the bilge pump stopped working, because Warren And when they claimed that they were leaving and he was jumping into
Right.
action because it was sinking, he says this.
Maybe disabled so you could get out. Crack one outlet. So what happens after that?
Drop down in the comments if you guys know anything about boats. I'm trying my hardest to keep up with it. It's making a little bit of sense though.
Pull trash out the bilge, and the bilge is basically a pump that pulls you along the water back is water that. So the bilge was failing to work. So and yes, water was saying that it was getting pumped out. So I looked over the gun and
It's just funny how everything is speeded up.
So I mean, we're all freaking out. All more, not looking for anything else. Well then, eventually, my buddy Mark on the timeline is like, I'm way on my.
So even though they were still on the island, he jumps out and throws out an anchor. Why did they pull the anchor up to begin with if they were sinking? If they were sinking, why was Bart offering to tow them out? Why would they risk being that close to the island and that close to ground to sink out further? Because again, look at how shallow of water these boats are in.
The reason why
Yeah, man.
if they tried to haul butt about it,
That didn't make no sense.
and they went a little deeper and then came back once they realized.
And that's one thing about lying, bro. It's hard to lie, bro, because the inconsistencies always get caught, bro. And what happens in the dark always comes to the light, y'all. So it's just better to tell the truth.
Right.
To shallow water, because it wouldn't make sense to start off on shallow waters, realize you're already sinking,
And then keep going.
which
That's
is-
what I've been
Right.
saying. I've been saying that. Like y'all had.
That's almost as if you notice you're out of gas.
Make it back an hour.
And you try to drive an hour away. Like, what?
Sound like them motherfuckers working pretty good to me.
Right. The boat was working good enough for y'all to travel on the waters if you said it was apparently sinking. Like, what?
Waters,
Right.
we realize we're already like sinking, but we're gonna
Go a 45-minute trip.
sail to deeper waters.
40 and the island was 45 minutes away. I know y'all just heard. Yeah, no.
Get engulfed by the water.
The boat would have been sank.
And how they described it, where like the water was like overflowing the boat, that wouldn't happen where they were docked. Like that was like literally like shallow waters. Like bro, you could see like bro, like their feet, like the water don't go past like damn near like their
The ankles.
Yeah.
So that photo could be undermined if they were trying to haul.
And that's what happens when you try to lie.
Without Nolan,
Especially nowadays in today's society, like everything isn't being caught on camera and being recorded. Like, stop.
And the only reason why that's important is because the narrative has now been. I mean, y'all see the picture. There's no chance, impossible that all these things y'all look.
My question is, who took the picture? Who took the picture? First of all, who took that picture? And like you said, you was out there. Y'all was trying to figure out what was wrong with the boat, and then you came back.
Right.
It's not impossible that Nolan couldn't have been on the boat after you came back.
A brand new Planet Fit.
After you came back.
Putting out there is true.
Because remember, I want y'all to remember, their original story was the boat was malfunctioning, so we told Nolan to get on the boat with us, but we didn't. He didn't listen to us, so we left without him. That don't make no fucking sense. The boat is sinking, so let's hurry up and get on the sinking boat and leave.
No. We would have let the boat sink there while we were on safe island. Like, what? That doesn't even make no sense. And why would y'all leave y'all friend? Especially if y'all said he was so sloppy drunk. Like, what type of friends are y'all? Their story just doesn't make no sense. It's not something somebody with sense would do. So, y'all gotta try something else, man. Like, come on now. Because, like I said, if this was a different story or the roles was reversed and this was a white kid that ended up dead, he would have been the black kid would have been in jail by now. And that just goes to show that we need to do better.
Because the picture could very well have been from the first time they tried to get on deep water. Because you wouldn't do that in the reverse.
Right.
Now, we're not saying they did anything. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. I'm just saying you can't roll it out. You can't do this interview and say it's impossible.
Exactly.
Right.
These people are only
because it just doesn't add up.
ulterior motives. It's impossible. No.
It's just like it's too much coincidences, and when it usually is too much coincidences, it's foul play. Something just doesn't smell right on that one, and I call it bullshit. Them boys know what happened to him, and they just don't want to come out with the truth. But it looks like the truth was already finding its way to the light. We're gonna know what happens pretty soon.
And these are things Tatum, who has been the sole interviewer so far, has refused to dive deep on. But let's get back to the timeline.
So what I suspect is that everybody just hauled ass and left, but because the trim was not going down, it overheated, it stalled out, then the crashing waves were freaking everybody out. But even Warren couldn't keep his story straight or his timeline straight, because then listen.
That's what happens when you start off with a lie. You gotta keep up with your lie, and it's so hard to keep up with your lie, especially when you gotta tell the story over and over and over and over again.
When we got there, I mean, probably around the same time, it was crazy. Like, there's a lot of people up. I mean, eventually, Mark pulls us out. Yeah, we left at 4:30, but we really were pulled out away from everybody. We were probably about a quarter mile out.
So he says it right there, that Bart pulls them out, they leave at 4:30,
You're snitching on yourself, brother. You're snitching on yourself. This is just really wicked.
We know that phone call was around 4 p.m. to the private towing company. Now, in my last video, I went into detail with the Bart, the fight, all of that stuff, the discrepancies between like the neck of water and then suddenly being in 31 feet of water, etc. I'm going to skip over that. Now, the last data point for the GPS was at about 8 o'clock that night. So then they go over to a female friend's house to go to the pool. And yet, instead of joining his friends in the pool, this is what Warren did.
At a lady friend's house. Right, I never got in the pool. I talked to her dad for a while, and I mean, all my friends were downstairs. I went upstairs, talked to her dad, and talked about boats and stuff.
Wait, hold on. Pause. So we went to our female's friend's house, and everybody's outside parlaying, chilling in the pool. And I go upstairs and I want to talk to her dad. Come on now, man. Like that, like what the freak? After just allegedly our boat breaking down and we just left our best friend on the island? Sloppy, intoxicated, drunk? Let's continue, man.
So you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at? I mean,
Alright, well now I got
Not where's Nolan at. Y'all left him. Y'all know where he is, supposedly. So what are y'all talking about and acting crazy like, where's Nolan?
And he's upstairs talking to her dad about boats.
Come on, man. No, the hell he was not upstairs talking to nobody's dad about boats. That doesn't even make fucking sense.
He goes upstairs to talk to her father about boats. Mind you, these children had been drinking all
day.
Long. He and his buddies don't go home until 3 a.m., mind you. Now, I know it's been a while since I've been 18, but drinking
right.
sounds to me like you were talking to this dad to help with the story.
Right. To get advice about something. What did you need advice about?
Because these tiny details like this have kind of like disappeared, right?
Jeez, this shit's crazy.
The story kind of progresses.
My condolences to the family.
Like very crucial has kind of disappeared. But the reason why that particular detail is important is because that's the timeline in which they figured out, wait, Nolan might be missing. So they get to this crib. He goes upstairs after drinking all day while partying to go talk to the only adult at the time around.
To get advice.
Why you go upstairs to talk to the only adult? He says he was trying to talk about boats. Okay, cool.
Why you're Sloppy drunk. You.
Is it possible that he might have went upstairs to ask about advice?
That's what it sound. What I say, chat? He went upstairs to get advice. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this shit out. Like, bro. Nowadays time, you guys literally be telling on yourself. You gotta be smarter. And I'm not saying and then doing crimes is right, but I'm just saying, like, bruh, you're telling on yourself, literally, like, and you're expecting not to get caught. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, man. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate all you guys' support. We're on our way to our first 1,000 subscribers, and we can do it. We're starting off fresh, man. I think we got about 21.
Exactly. Because what's not natural about this is, if I leave, let's say, my friend at a party, right? Let's just say I leave my friend at a party, right?
Then you're not my friend, because I'm not. If I pull up with my friend somewhere, I'm not leaving my friend anywhere.
I'm probably not thinking where my homie is, right? Right? Like, I'm just being real with y'all, bro.
Be real though.
If I leave my homie at a party at 5 p.m.,
I'm not going home. I'm not going home and being drunk and just being like, where Charles at? Where Timmy at? Where John at?
Why you say my name though? That's funny.
What would I be thinking about?
Drop down in the comments if you can guess which one is my name.
I was just partying with him. He drunk. He probably in some pussy or something. I don't know where he at. We partying. We still partying. I'm not gonna coincidentally be like,
Just out of the random, be like, oh, where is he at?
Let's call John and see if he.
Like, unless you know something happened to him. That's a guilty conscience right there. And yet again, which is another state of fashion of what? Snitching on yourself. Like, what?
Especially if we all drinking and partying still, I'm probably not worried about where the homie is. Exactly. But to go upstairs and talk to the only adult around.
In a time like this.
We think it was for advice for a tricky situation, but that's just my opinion. Come downstairs and conveniently walk into a conversation about Nolan, and then your mind automatically goes to the worst. Where's Nolan? He's missing. Call Coast Guard. Come on, sir.
But you was just talking about boats. Like, come on, man. You're not as smart as you think you are.
I should call the Coast Guard.
I went back downstairs and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan. I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him?
It just seems pretty convenient that after his pal
Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Don't believe him for 1 second.
Have you seen Nolan? No, I haven't seen Nolan. Have you seen Nolan? Maybe we should call this person. We should call his mom. Almost seems like they actually go back downstairs after talking about what they should do about the situation with the dad, or whatever it is they were really doing at the
Right.
time.
Talking about boats.
About Nolan publicly, so that everybody at the party could be organic witnesses to when the conversation happened. He kept contradicting himself. He kept saying, "Oh, I wasn't too worried about it, but then also we know that they can kill people. But also, like, maybe I would
What?
call the Coast Guard,
Who can kill people? I wonder who they're talking about.
They said
Right. That's a head scratcher.
Their friend's mom before getting in contact with Katie. So as I was making this video, I caught something so big it changes everything. Throughout this entire interview, Warren insisted that Bart's boat was a tide line. He was so sure of it, said it over and over and over again, claimed that there were 20 to 30 people on that boat. By the way he talks about boats and the equipment and stuff, it seems like he
has a little bit of knowledge of
and
boats.
knows a lot about boats. So maybe y'all can tell me why, in this report, when they gathered the GPS evidence, does it say that Bart was driving a tide craft, not a tide line? They're entirely different designs, purposes, manufacturing styles. Mind you, this is what tide
Oh,
crafts look
wow.
like. They ain't fitting 20 people on them. This is what
Damn.
boats look like.
And like I said, all the lies come out And the light.
So was there a fourth boat out there?
The reason why
Oh,
the idea
wow.
of the fourth boat is really important is because when they say, hey,
All this evidence and more evidence and more conspiracies. Like, this is just like.
That's why I'm so quiet.
Right.
I'm just downloading data right now. This is some spooky crazy.
Trying to get down to the bottom of this is going to, like, woo.
GPS data so you could track us. That right there, the GPS data, has been the only verifiable evidence of their movements.
Right.
So when they say, this is when we left, this is when we hopped on, this is where we went, the GPS data has been the only empirical evidence we have.
Right, because there's no faking out.
We take their word for it. This is when they left, this is when they came, this is everything.
Right.
But if there's been a fourth boat that has not been tracked, if there's been a fourth boat that has GPS data that we don't have, then that brings up the possibility there may have been more traveling to more places
Then what we know.
and more activities that we don't know about.
Because they ain't looking.
And that's what's the scariest part about it all.
And again, it's really important because
Where's the fourth boat, y'all? Drop it down in the comments if you know. We need to get to the bottom of this ASAP.
Okay, they telling the truth. If it's another boat,
If you got any evidence or if you know anything about what's going on in this Nolan Wells case, drop it down in the comments so we can get it shared to the family.
it could very well be that same.
Or the Ben Crump.
It could very well be that GPS that explains and tells a very big
way
story.
they've been able to say, here's our movements, here's where we went, here is how you track.
It would explain that the disruptor at the timelines had to been probably another boat.
that's not being discussed, that's not being tracked, then there have been activities, there's been movements that we don't know about. And we must have all the information. And if information is being hidden purposefully,
That is,
that's
whoo,
a reason for us to pause.
definitely, because that is tampering with a motherfucking investigation. That's illegal. Somebody definitely has to go to jail for this.
Not only have I found more evidence of a fourth boat, not only have I found a lie in their timeline, but I have also discovered a deep political connection, not only to a former governor of Mississippi, but to Turning Point USA. So first off, this picture has
Oh man, everybody's so corrupt.
a little bit further out in the water altogether. Now here's what is supposedly Bart's boat. We can see the garment on top to confirm this black boat from this other picture. We can see Wyatt's Triton right here, and we can confirm that by the motor. As you can see right here, has that black stripe on the white motor. Now in between the two boats is the Palm Beach. You can clearly see it labeled, and it's got that stripe, right? As you can see, the stripe is there, and yet there's this design right here and no Palm Beach. And you may be like, Jay, that doesn't prove that it's a different boat. Maybe we just can't see it, even though it should be right there according to this picture. But if you look in this video, you can see that there's a black propeller right there. See black propeller, and you can very clearly see the Palm Beach right there on the side. If you look really carefully in this photo, you can see right there
Black
a
motor.
black propeller. There's another boat on the other
side of
these
it.
three boats.
Oh
And
wow!
Four boats
That's
right
four
here.
boats.
Then I
Wow,
realized-
y'all.
I woke up at my buddy's house and we went to McDonald's, got food. No one's not with me. And I made out breakfast. I had a place boat hooked up to my truck. And well, first I
That is wild, y'all. So there really was 4 boats.
Wyatt and I went and with my buddies and we went, built the top of the boat off, loaded down the ice, and just got everything ready.
We gotta find that 4th boat and get the GPS tracker so we can know exactly what the fuck happened.
4-body boat launched to my buddy's grandparents' house, and that's where we all planned to meet up that day.
So Wyatt had his buddy's boat already hooked up to the back.
Where is the search warrant? Get the warrant to get the boat, man.
And Wyatt went and put the Palm Beach, his smaller boat, into the water. And we know there was a second boat, the Triton, that was driven by Wyatt. Wyatt had 2 boats in the water. Who was driving his other boat?
We don't know the patterns of that particular boat.
Was
We
it
don't know
Nolan?
the GPS data. We don't know where it went. We don't
Right.
know who was driving.
Right.
But we're trying to figure out who was driving Wyatt's other boat. Let's go to
And that is the question that we need to figure out.
This is just my opinion.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. In my opinion, bro, I have to make sure I say in my opinion. 'Cause I don't wanna be sued.
This is crazy,
But,
man.
I think it's very suspicious that.
Definitely very suspicious. It's suspicious. too many conspiracies. There's too many coincidences. It's just like, what do you call it? I'm at a loss for words, y'all.
You go to the party, you talking to the dad, then you come downstairs to the party, and you talking about
After supposedly talking about boats.
I'm gonna call a Coast Guard.
Like,
all the while these people in possession
are
of
drunk and partying. Keep that in
you
mind.
didn't call his mama,
Like,
you didn't call the police, you called the Coast Guard. Okay.
doesn't make no sense at all, y'all.
Speculatory. Okay.
But if you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. It means a lot to me. I appreciate your support. And catch me on the next vid, man. We're out.